welcome to the Kelly Roach Show, a place for no fluff, easy to implement, 20-minute or less business and leadership lessons to help you build a sustainable business that scales. Let's get started. This is part 2 of the series on reinvention. And today we are talking about your Kairos moment. Now on part 1, which I hope you all listened to, if you haven't, hit stop now and go back to the last episode, part 1 of this series. You definitely want to follow along in order. I mentioned the word Kairos, and I told you all that you could go and look up the meaning of that. And there's so many meanings of the word Kairos and so many different ways and places that it is used. Of course, it is biblical, and it's a Greek word. And there are many different times, but a lot of the translation of the word Kairos is about an opportunity season, a moment with God. Kairos time is considered God's time, right? It's almost like Kairos is this non-linear, qualitative moment, right? It's a moment of opportunity. It's a moment where you step into something new. It's almost like seize the day, you could think of it. Seize the day, seize the moment. People could say Kairos is kind of like where things come to a head, right? Here's a parable from the word, and it says, "At that time, Kairos, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, and then gather the wheat and bring it to my barn." Matthew 13:30. By using Kairos here, Jesus emphasizes the fact that Judgment Day is an appointed time, and at that time will occur certain things appropriate for the day. And, I think that for all of you, a Kairos moment is a moment of truth. It's a moment of opportunity. It is an emerging of a new season. It is the perfect synchronicity of the intersection of your talent and your grace and God's grace in your life, and you being called to answer the next level of what is deep within your heart and soul. And I said that on part 1, I was talking about the kind of the puzzle pieces of what the world is craving and what you have inside of you that is destined to be unleashed, that is pushing and pulling on you and calling you to bring forward to the world. These are 2 puzzle pieces that fit perfectly together. And so many people, I believe, are suffering from anxiety and depression and addiction. And there's so many reasons why, right? But I absolutely believe that there is a correlation between a godless world and the breakdown of societal norms around the focus on family and faith, and that there is a correlation between a lack of leadership in those realms and people's mental health, their ability to see a world in which there is something bigger and better on its way, an ability to trust that they have a higher power, that they have something to hope in, something to believe in, something to look forward to. There are so many people that feel hopeless. They feel alone in the world. They don't have a leader in their life that is pointing them to something bigger than themselves. And in many ways, I see the online world, the online bubble, as a microcosm of the greater world. And we have a lack of leaders with depth. We have a lack of leaders that are putting their faith in their families first. We have a lack of leaders that have the courage to dig deeper beyond transaction and go fully into calling, looking at their life as a series of decisions and their work as a series of their legacy unfolding in real time while they're still here, and to live on when they're not. And so your Kairos moment, I've had several of these moments in my life in very recent times, and it's why I decided to use this as the name of the reinvention that I'm creating and the experience that I'm inviting you to, and the evolution of where I'm going and what I'm doing, because there is a perfect intersection in this moment of the soul of the world crying out for you and what you have inside of you, and people wanting and needing more depth. And there is this crying out and this desire and this demand that's being unfulfilled. And also, I've spoken to enough very successful people running million and multi-million dollar companies to know that you also are feeling that disorientation between what you've created and who you're being and what you're teaching and how you're delivering and what you're experiencing. It no longer is congruent. It no longer is congruent. And I think that there are a lot of reasons why people feel this. And I think there's a couple different camps. Some of you, your business model is out of date. Your concept is out of date. What you're doing is no longer fresh. It doesn't have the timely appeal. It's just not at the level of sophistication that it needs to be at. That's one camp. There's obviously a group of people that aren't even at the $1 million level yet, where you need to like run the reps. You need to do the freaking work. You need to run the reps. You need to just do the damn thing. Okay. And then there's a category of people that are wanting to go through this conversion of what they're doing because what they were doing is no longer working. And they don't know how or where or what to do with the thing that they've created. Now, I mentioned on the part 1 of this series that if you message me on my social platforms, the word Kairos, that I will send you the reinvention playbook. And inside the reinvention playbook, I'm going to walk you through a very sophisticated evolution of a thoughtful reinvention versus what we're seeing online, which is people abandoning and shutting down and doing really stupid stuff with their brands, or going out of business altogether because they don't know how to do a sophisticated strategic reinvention. So if you feel like you have to break out of the box that you're in, you have to create alignment once again, you are ready to step into that next level of true leadership on a deeper level, you definitely want to message me the word Kairos, because there's conversation and concepts that are being unpacked here, but we're walking through the tactical execution and the steps and a little bit more of the specifics there. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you're listening here, and then you're going and messaging the word Kairos to get the playbook. So I believe that there is this Kairos moment upon us. I had my Kairos moment several months ago, and I've had several of them. And, in that moment, it was very crystal clear to me that everything that I do for the rest of my life must first and foremost reflect glory to God. Secondly, represent the importance and the meaning and the focus of putting family first, along with faith. And thirdly, leading leaders to this next level of Kairos leadership, which allows them to become business champions and build their empires and do great good in the world, while being the embodiment of these true human principles of family and faith and goodness and morality and love and depth and character and all of those things that the world is crying out for, that we are in severe lack of leadership for. We are lacking in leaders in this space. And why I believe that this is a Kairos moment for so many of you that listen to my show is that I have true experts here. I have true experts here that do meaningful work in the world, that know that they're making a difference, that know that, they are changing the world with the work that they're doing, but that you have to play deeper. You need to go further. You need to reinvent, right? You need that sophisticated reinvention to make that next big leap. And I've been through this. This is, probably my 4th big reinvention. And every time it's let my business forward. And it means letting go of things. And it means, changing things, and it means having courage to step into that. But I believe it's a Kairos moment because it's what the world is craving. It's what your soul and your mind and body are telling you that you're meant to be doing. Maybe you don't know how to articulate it yet. I said in part one, forgive me if this comes out a little bit rough, because this is pure download for me. It's not a marketing message. This is not something that I've said 1,000 times. This is new work for me. This is me simply following my steps being ordered by God. And that's all I can say. But I believe that it is your Kairos moment. And I believe that Kairos leadership is the new era of leadership. Again, message me the word Kairos if you want to get all the resources that go with these sessions and all the tools that I'm creating around this. I want to build the next generation of business champions. I don't care whether you want to build a boutique business, you want to create a lifestyle business, you want to scale an empire. I want to build the next leadership cohort of people that are the embodiment of all of these things, no matter what type of business you're building, no matter how much revenue you want to do, no matter what practice area or business you're in. I want to make sure that I am creating a space where people are going to learn how to leverage the power of intuition, prayer, faith, miracles to overcome absolutely any challenge that comes your way, to rise above the hardships and the obstacles that land in your life, to turn these obstacles into your greatest catalyst for success, contribution, and impact. And I want to help you make millions of dollars while you do it. I believe in making money and doing good. I believe in making money and doing good. I know you do too. And the world is looking for leadership in this area. And you are being called to be a part of this movement. So I want to talk to you quickly about the pillars of Kairos leadership and what it means to be a Kairos leader. Number one is preemptive business leadership. And this is not for the faint of heart, because I believe that this new era of leaders is going to be required to be courageous on a new level, on a next level. Transparency, ownership, radical responsibility, vulnerability, all of those things. Preemptive business leadership means that you leverage your intuition in a way that allows you to be ahead of the curve and create a competitive advantage that spans a lifetime. For me, every single reinvention that I've done, I've been 3 years ahead of the curve. I was 3 years ahead of the curve with live launch. I was 3 years ahead of the curve with the conviction marketing method. I was 3 years ahead of the curve with what we're doing now, which everyone is going to see. Everyone is going to see that the tactical surface style of leadership that has been portrayed online, not enough. It's not enough. People have been through too much. People have learned too much. People are not buying that anymore. It's not enough. It's simply not enough. And you will see. So Kairos leadership is about being preemptive. Right? It's acting on intuition. It's being courageous. It is not requiring a framework or a blueprint or a tactical model to step into your greatness. It's really leading at that next level. Number two, it's really looking at holistic life design. So that 1% living that I've talked about so many times, optimal living and fulfillment, Kairos leadership is about loving yourself and loving your family and loving God enough that you're going to make time every single day for prayer, meditation, exercise, nutrition, family, all of those things. And you are going to have enough faith and trust that you can carve out the time to build a very holistic, fulfilling life in conjunction with building your business. Number three, values-driven wealth creation and philanthropy. So the Kairos leader is not the person that is obsessed with waving money on videos or, taking pictures, getting on the private jet or, yachts or toys or whatever. All of those things are great. Money is great. I love money. I love money. I love being wealthy. I love being a multimillionaire. I am never going to shame anyone for wanting or enjoying luxury things. I think it's amazing. I think the people that have those things in most instances, they earn those things. And if that's what makes them happy, I think that's amazing. But here's the thing, right? For those of you that have already become multimillionaires, you understand that those things won't ultimately make you happy. They will enhance your life, right? Money does enhance your life. Money does make every other area of life better and easier, right? But there's more to it, right? There's more to it. And wealth building is really about getting to the point where your business becomes an asset that can be sold. Your personal brand stays with you for life to do fulfilling, creative ventures and amazing work that, you feel answers your calling and your purpose, right? And wealth is about getting to the point where you can live off of the assets that you've built and sold and created versus the hours that you need to put in. And this is a process over a period of years, right? But it's asset-based thinking versus trading dollars for hours, right? And that requires a level of leadership. Most people quit in their businesses when they get to the point of needing to build a team and systems and processes because they get overwhelmed and frustrated with making mishires or making missteps in the process. And they just revert back to the other side and start over again and keep starting over again. And the problem with that is you never close the freedom loop, right? And then the fourth element of Kairos leadership is really the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health, right? It's being a walking representation of self-love and of healing and of, again, the well-rounded approach to what truly matters in life, glorifying God with the business that you're creating, but also being a person that invests in your own longevity. And a big principle for me of Kairos leadership is the focus on longevity of your business, longevity of your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, longevity, right? So, when I think about inviting you on this journey, and again, I want you to message me the word Kairos. You can message me on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever we're connected. And if we're not connected there, go find me and follow along. But message me the word Kairos. You're going to get the toolkit and the playbook and all of those things. But this is an invitation for you to really look at the way that you're leading and building your brand and your business as an embodiment of work that is in true alignment with calling on a deeper level. And the wealth building is a byproduct of that. Right? So it's just a little bit of a different perspective than I think what we see out there, which is so transactional in nature. And for many people, it's become so transactional that they no longer feel any sense of love or connection to what they're doing because it just everything has to serve as a this for that versus being able to create and lead and just be the person that you're being called to be. Right? So I am going to be forming a community of achievers and leaders and believers that are building empires and pursuing greatness and building wealth and doing good and honoring God and giving back. And that's what I hope that you'll follow along with in this conversation. But, for me, my Kairos moment was, I began to feel that business strategy was, a piece of how I help people and how I impact the world, because I believe that building your own business is the greatest vehicle on the planet for creating transformation, wealth, success, happiness, fulfillment. I truly believe that. And it's why I've spent the last 11 years teaching people to build businesses. But for me, in Kairos, I realized that is one small piece of a much bigger story of who I am meant to be and how stepping into who I'm truly meant to be is intended to not just lead people down the path of building wildly successful and profitable businesses, but glorifying God and giving back and putting your family first and reprioritizing those lost values in our culture and in our society that people desperately need to be encouraged around and reminded of and brought back to center again. So the Kairos way is really going to be about you stepping into the person that you are destined to be, performing at the highest level in business and creating wealth and, just doing the healing work, refining your craft, becoming undeniably great. And again, I think that it's a true separation moment, right? This is your Kairos moment. It will not be everyone's Kairos moment. There's a lot of people that are exiting right now. There's a lot of people that are closing their businesses down right now. There's a lot of people that are not going to do the inside work, the Kairos work, to step into that next iteration of what they need to be and who they need to be to get to where they're trying to go. And for a lot of people, this isn't going to be their Kairos moment. But for the people that lean in and are part of this conversation and are willing to open themselves up to this, this is going to be a turning point of your life. And, I feel that the change in the market and the change in the buying climate and the change in the economy, it's like this perfect storm where the weak are kind of being picked off and tossed aside. And the people that weren't truly invested for the long term are, suffering and they're going out. And I think for all of us that want to continue, that want to lean in, I think that 2024 is going to be like one of the best years ever in business. I'm so excited. Like, to me right now, we're all in preparation for that and creating a state of readiness for that. But I think that for those that understand how the shift in the market is requiring something very different from you and lean into that, into the fullness of what the market needs and wants and is craving and is desiring, and also are willing to show up and give their whole heart to that, I believe it's going to be the opportunity of a lifetime. So message me the word Kairos to learn more, and I'll see you back here on part 3.